Fleet Commander Zixvar stood tall in the grand chamber of the Galactic Imperial Council. His gray skin showed scars from many battles. 3 yellow eyes blinked nervously as he faced Emperor Dravkor. The massive room glittered with gold and rare metals. Council members from 100 worlds watched from their seats, their many different shapes and colors making the room look like a strange garden of alien life. "Your Eminence," Zixvar began, his deep voice carrying across the silent chamber. "I must speak against the planned attack on the planet Earth." Emperor Dravkor leaned forward on his floating throne. He was twice as tall as Zixvar, with skin that shimmered like oil on water. His forearms were covered in jewels that showed his power. "Commander Zixvar, you have won us 100 worlds. Your courage is known across the stars. What makes you fear these Earth creatures? Their ships can barely reach their own moon." Nervous laughter rippled through the council chamber. Zixvar did not join in. "It is not their technology that we should fear, Your Eminence. It is their females." The laughter grew louder. General Krell, the Emperor's war chief, slammed his fist on the table. "The great Zixvar, afraid of soft breeding creatures? Perhaps you have been in space too long, Commander." Zixvar touched a button on his wrist. A large image appeared in the air above them. It showed a human female lifting a heavy fallen tree to free a trapped child. "This was recorded by our scouts," he said. "Their females have strength that does not match their size." He pressed another button. A new image showed a human woman, fighting off 3 armed men with quick, skilled movements. They protect their young with unexpected fierceness. Zixvar continued. "And they are clever. They solve problems in ways our scientists find hard to explain." The Emperor waved a jeweled hand dismissively. "All species protect their young. It is nothing special." "There is more, Your Eminence," Zixvar said. "Last cycle I sent a small team to collect some humans for study. They were discovered by a single Earth female. 3 of my best soldiers did not return." For the first time, the council was quiet. "Show us," the Emperor commanded. Zixvar hesitated. "The images are disturbing, Your Eminence." "Show us," the Emperor repeated, his voice cold. The new image that appeared made even General Krell sit back in surprise. It showed the broken bodies of 3 alien soldiers, their special armor torn open. The recording continued, showing a human woman with blood on her clothes walking away, carrying what looked like alien technology. "She took their weapons," Zixvar said quietly, "and she figured out how to use them within 1 Earth day." The Emperor's face showed no emotion. "One lucky human does not make a species dangerous." "This was not luck, Your Eminence. My scientists believe some Earth females have special abilities that we do not understand. Perhaps it is hidden in their genetic code. We need more time to study them before we attack." General Krell stood up. "This is nonsense. We have conquered worlds with creatures twice the size of humans, with natural weapons and armor. Humans are soft and weak. Their planet is rich with resources we need. I say we attack now while they still think they are alone in the universe." The Emperor looked between his 2 commanders. Finally, he nodded to Krell. "Prepare the invasion. Fleet, we attack in 30 cycles." "Your Eminence, please," Zixvar tried one last time. "At least avoid capturing their females. Take only the males for labor." The Emperor stood, ending the discussion. "We will take what we want, Commander. You will lead the 3rd wave. Perhaps seeing Earth females in chains will cure you of this strange fear." As the council emptied, Zixvar stayed behind, looking at the image of the human woman who had killed his soldiers. There was something in her eyes that haunted him, something he had seen before, on worlds that had fought to the last creature against the Empire. Far away on Earth, Lisa Bennett finished writing on the classroom board. "That's all for today's lesson on the stars," she told her students. "Remember your homework. I want you each to observe the night sky and write down what you see." The students filed out of her classroom at Lakeside High School in Ohio. Lisa packed her things and looked out the window. It was a beautiful spring day. Trees were turning green and flowers were starting to bloom. As she walked to her car, Lisa felt a strange chill. She looked up at the blue sky and had a sudden feeling that something was watching her. The feeling passed quickly, and she shook her head, smiling at her own imagination. That night, Lisa had the dream again. She was floating in space, looking down at Earth. Strange ships surrounded the planet. In the dream, she knew they were coming to take something important. She tried to warn people, but no one could hear her. Lisa woke up covered in sweat. The clock said 3:17 a.m. The dream had been happening more often lately, always the same. She got up and went to her kitchen for water. Outside, the stars seemed unusually bright. Just stress, she told herself. But her hand shook as she drank her water. Meanwhile, in Arizona, Amanda Flores climbed out of her F-35 fighter jet after a night training flight. The desert air was cool against her face after hours in the cockpit. "How'd it go, Captain?" asked the ground crew chief. "Good flight, but I picked up some weird readings on radar," Amanda said. "Like something was there and then gone. Probably just equipment issues." "I'll check it out," the chief promised. Amanda nodded and headed to the debriefing room. She didn't mention that this was the third time she had spotted the strange radar signal. The first 2 times her commander had dismissed it as a glitch. But Amanda knew aircraft and radar systems. This was not a glitch. As she walked across the airfield, she looked up at the stars. For a moment, she thought she saw something move among them. Something too fast for a satellite, too high for a plane. Then it was gone. In orbit around Earth, hidden by advanced technology, Zixvar's scout ship continued its mission. The commander stood at the viewing window looking down at the blue planet. "Commander, we have detected unusual brain activity in some humans," reported his science officer. "Mostly in females. It's almost as if they sense us." Zixvar nodded slowly. "Add it to the report, though I doubt the Emperor will read it." "Sir, if I may ask, why are you so concerned about these humans? They seem primitive compared to us." Zixvar turned to the young officer. "I have fought in 100 wars across the stars. I have seen patterns. The easier a species seems to conquer, the more surprising they can be. And there is something about these humans, something familiar that I cannot place." He looked back at Earth. "The invasion will begin soon. The Empire will not listen to my warnings, and we will all pay the price." The massive Imperial invasion fleet moved through the darkness of space toward Earth. 500 ships, each larger than Earth's biggest buildings, formed a deadly arrow pointed at the blue planet. At the front, General Krell's command ship led the way. Near the back, Commander Zixvar watched from his own ship with a heavy heart. "All ships report ready, Commander," said his second-in-command. Zixvar nodded without speaking. He had tried once more to convince the Emperor to change the plan, but his words had fallen on deaf ears. Now he could only watch and follow orders. "Time. First wave will begin their attack in 1 hour," the officer continued. "They will target the humans' communication systems and power centers. Make sure our observers record everything," Zixvar ordered. "I want complete data on the humans." Response. On Earth, Lisa Bennett led 20 excited students through the Lakeside Observatory. The large telescope pointed at the night sky as the students took turns looking through it. "Tonight we'll be able to see Saturn's rings clearly," Lisa explained. "The viewing conditions are perfect." Ms. Bennett called a boy named Kyle. "I think I see something moving up there." Lisa smiled. "Probably a satellite. There are thousands orbiting Earth." "It's really big," Kyle insisted. "And it's getting bigger." Lisa stepped to the telescope and looked through it. What she saw made her heart stop. A massive object was moving across the stars, blocking them out as it passed. And it was not alone. "Everyone," she said, trying to keep her voice calm, "we're going to end early tonight. Please call your parents to come pick you up." "But we just got here," complained a girl named Olivia. "Now please," Lisa said firmly. As the students grumbled and reached for their phones, Lisa stepped outside to look at the night sky with her naked eyes. There was nothing visible yet, but the feeling from her dreams was stronger than ever. Something was coming. The students' voices rose in confusion. inside the observatory. "My phone's not working," several called out. Lisa checked her own phone, no signal, no internet. She looked back at the sky and saw a faint red glow beginning to spread. In Arizona, Amanda Flores was 30,000 feet above the desert in her fighter jet when her radio crackled with static. "All aircraft return to base immediately," came the broken message. "Unknown objects entering atmosphere. This is not a drill." Amanda pushed her throttle forward and banked the jet toward the base. Below her, the lights of Phoenix suddenly went dark. Then Tucson. Then the entire visible landscape was black except for car headlights on the highways. Her cockpit instruments flickered and died one by one. The jet's engines sputtered. Amanda's training kicked in as she fought to control the dying aircraft. She had practiced emergency landings without power, but never at night with no lights to guide her. The jet dropped through the clouds as Amanda used the stars to navigate. She could see the outline of mountains against the night sky and aimed for the flat desert beyond them. The jet fell faster as it lost speed. "Come on," Amanda muttered as she pulled back on the stick. "Just a little farther." The ground rushed up to meet her. At the last moment, she leveled the wings and braced for impact. The jet hit the desert floor hard, skidding across sand and rocks. Metal tore and twisted around her as the world became noise and pain and darkness. When Amanda opened her eyes, her jet was in pieces around her. Somehow she had survived. She unstrapped herself and climbed painfully from the wreckage. In the distance, she could see other aircraft falling from the sky like shooting stars. Above them, red lights moved in the darkness. Too many to count, too large to be aircraft. "They're here," she whispered, not knowing why she felt so certain about who they were. Around the world, the first wave of the Imperial attack was working perfectly. Electromagnetic pulses disabled Earth's electronics. Power grids failed. Military bases lost communication. Panic spread as people found themselves suddenly cut off from information. In his ship, General Krell watched with satisfaction. "You see, Commander Zixvar," he said over the communication link, "these humans offer no resistance. Their primitive weapons are useless. We will land troops within hours." Zixvar did not respond. He was studying the data from Earth's military responses. While most of their aircraft had fallen, a surprising number had managed to land safely. While most communications were down, new signals were already appearing as humans found ways to connect again. "They adapt quickly," he noted to his science officer. "Faster than expected." "Sir," called another officer, "we're detecting unusual energy readings from the planet's surface." "Show me," Zixvar ordered. A map of Earth appeared before him. Small points of light dotted the surface, growing in number and brightness. "What are they?" Zixvar asked. "Unknown, sir. They appear to be biological in origin, not technological." Zixvar felt a chill. "Locate the sources and send me visual images." At the observatory, Lisa gathered the frightened students in the main hall. Outside, the red glow in the sky had grown brighter. Strange sounds filled the air. "Everyone stay calm," Lisa said. "We're safe here for now." "What's happening, Ms. Bennett?" asked a scared girl. Before Lisa could answer, pain shot through her head. She gasped and grabbed the edge of a table to steady herself. Images flashed before her eyes. Ships, creatures with gray skin, weapons being prepared. "Ms. Bennett?" Kyle called, concerned. Lisa straightened up, the pain fading. But something new had taken its place. Knowledge, understanding. She knew exactly what was happening and, strangely, what needed to be done. "Listen to me," she told the students, her voice stronger now. "We need to stay together and find a way to contact others. I think there are people who might be able to help us." "What people?" asked Olivia. "Other women," Lisa said, not understanding why she was so certain. "We need to find other women." In the desert, Amanda limped away from her crashed jet. Her left leg was injured, but nothing seemed broken. She heard the sound of vehicles approaching and ducked behind a rock. Headlights appeared on a nearby road as military trucks drove past. Amanda stepped out, waving her arms. The truck stopped, and soldiers jumped out, weapons ready. "Captain Flores?" called a voice she recognized. It was Sergeant Garcia from her base. "Over here," she called back. "What's happening?" "We don't know, ma'am. All communications are down. Radar showed hundreds of objects entering atmosphere before it went offline. Colonel Morris ordered us to gather all surviving pilots." "Where are we going?" Amanda asked as they helped her into a truck. "There's an old bunker in the mountains," Garcia explained, "built during the Cold War. No electronics to be affected by whatever knocked out our power." As the trucks drove toward the mountains, Amanda looked back at the sky. The red lights were descending now, becoming clearer. Ships. Alien ships. Another wave of pain hit her head. She saw strange creatures loading weapons, heard them speaking in an unknown language that somehow she could understand. "We need to hurry," she told Garcia when the pain passed. "They're coming and they're going to take people." "How do you know that?" Garcia asked. Amanda shook her head. "I don't know how I know. I just do." In his ship, Zixvar studied the images sent by his observers. The bright energy sources on Earth were coming from humans, specifically human females, more specifically, from their brains. "It's just as I feared," he murmured. "They're awakening." "Sir?" his science officer asked. "Order our troops to avoid human females if possible," Zixvar commanded. "Tell them to focus on male captives only." But General Krell's orders were to capture all healthy humans for labor and experiments. Zixvar's three eyes narrowed. I'm still in command of my division. My troops will follow my orders." Around Earth, the invasion ships began their descent through the atmosphere. The conquest of Earth had begun. But already, something was happening that the Empire had not planned for. Something that made Zixvar more certain than ever that this invasion was a terrible mistake. 3 months had passed since the aliens first appeared in Earth's skies. Cities around the world lay in ruins. Millions of people had been taken away in huge ships. Those who remained hid in forests, mountains, and underground places. The world's armies had tried to fight back, but their weapons were no match for the alien technology. Lisa Bennett no longer looked like a high school science teacher. Her clothes were dirty and torn. Her hair was cut short. A scar crossed her left cheek where an alien weapon had nearly killed her. She led a group of 37 survivors through the ruins of Cleveland. Most of her group were women with a few men and children. "Stay low and quiet," Lisa whispered as they moved between broken buildings. "Their patrol ships fly by every 20 minutes. The group carried food and medicine they had found in an abandoned store. It was getting harder to find supplies. The aliens had taken almost everything useful. "Lisa," called a woman named Karen who had once been a nurse before the invasion. "How much farther to the safe house?" 3 more blocks, Lisa answered. She closed her eyes for a moment, reaching out with her mind. This ability had started the night of the invasion and grown stronger each day. She could sense the aliens now, feel their presence like cold spots in her mind. "There's a group of them ahead," she said, opening her eyes. 5 soldiers. We need to go around." No one questioned how she knew this. They had seen her strange powers work too many times to doubt her. The group changed direction, moving through a fallen office building. As they climbed over broken concrete, 16-year-old Kyle, one of Lisa's former students, pointed to the sky. "Look," he whispered. A massive ship moved slowly overhead, its metal skin reflecting the sun. Smaller ships flew around it like insects around a giant beast. "That's a command ship," Lisa said, the knowledge appearing in her mind from nowhere. "An important alien leader must be on board." Miles away in what had once been Arizona, Amanda Flores looked through binoculars at an alien labor camp. Hundreds of captured humans worked under alien guards, loading strange machines onto ships. Most of the captives were men. The aliens seemed to avoid taking women whenever possible. "I count 20 guards on the east side," Amanda told the people around her. Once they had been civilians. Now they were fighters in her resistance group. "The fence is electrified," said a man named Carlos, who had been an electrician before the invasion. But if we can cut the power for just 30 seconds, we can break through, Amanda nodded. In the months since her jet crashed, she had become the leader of 300 survivors. They had fought the aliens many times, freeing captives and stealing alien technology. Amanda had discovered she could use alien weapons with surprising ease, as if she somehow understood how they worked. We attack at sunset, she decided. Get everyone ready. As her fighters prepared, Amanda stepped away to be alone for a moment. She touched the strange metal object hanging around her neck. It had come from the first alien she had killed, a device that seemed to help her understand their language. But lately, she had found she didn't need it anymore. She could understand them without help and sometimes even sense what they were thinking. Who am I becoming? She whispered to herself. In orbit above Earth, Commander Zixivar studied reports. From the surface, the conquest was not going as planned. While millions of humans had been captured, resistance was growing stronger each day. Most troubling were the reports about human females developing unexpected abilities. Sir, called his second-in-command, General Krell demands your presence on the main command ship. Zixivar sighed. He had been avoiding Krell for weeks, knowing the general would not want to hear his concerns. When Zixivar arrived on the massive command ship, he found Krell in a rage, throwing objects at cowering officers. Zixivar, Krell shouted when he saw him. Explain this disaster. 3 supply ships destroyed yesterday. A research base overrun last week. Soldiers disappearing on patrol. The Emperor demands answers. I warned you about the human females, Zixivar said calmly. Their abilities are growing. They can sense our presence, understand our technology, even read our thoughts sometimes. Krell slammed his fist on a table. Nonsense. They are just animals. Then why have we lost over 5,000 troops to these animals in the past month? Zixivar asked. Why are our soldiers afraid to go into certain areas? Why do our captives keep escaping? Incompetence, Krell shouted. Your troops are weak and poorly led. My troops follow my orders, Zixivar said. We capture the human, males as commanded. But I have ordered them to avoid females when possible. Krell's eyes narrowed. You what? You dare disobey the Emperor's orders? I try to keep my soldiers alive, Zixivar replied. The women are too dangerous. I will show you how to deal with dangerous creatures, Krell growled. I am sending my elite forces to hunt down the female resistance leaders. We will make examples of them. And you, Commander, will lead the hunt, or I will report your disobedience to the Emperor. Back on Earth, Lisa's group reached the safe house as night fell. It was an old subway station, deep underground where alien scanners couldn't reach. Inside, more survivors waited. Children played quietly. Women and men prepared food or worked on weapons. Lisa noticed a radio operator waving to her urgently. We just got a message from the Arizona group, the operator said. They're planning to attack a labor camp tonight. Tell them to wait, Lisa said quickly. I've been sensing something. The aliens are planning something big. They're getting desperate. The radio operator sent the message but came back shaking her head. No response. They must already be moving. Lisa closed her eyes, reaching out with her mind. She had never tried to touch someone so far away before, but she had to try. She pictured Amanda, the leader of the Arizona group, whom she knew only from radio descriptions. Miles away, as Amanda prepared to lead her fighters toward the alien camp, she suddenly froze. A voice seemed to speak inside her head. Don't attack. Tonight, it's a trap. They're waiting for you. Who said that? Amanda asked, looking around at her confused fighters. Said what? Carlos asked. Nobody spoke. Amanda shook her head, confused, but something told her to trust the strange voice. Change of plans, she announced. We're pulling back. Something's not right. Her fighters looked disappointed but trusted her judgment. As they moved away from the camp, the night sky lit up with alien ships, more than Amanda had ever seen in one place. They surrounded the labor camp, weapons ready. They knew we were coming, Carlos whispered. How did you know it was a trap? Amanda touched her temple. Someone warned me. I think there are others like me out there. On the command ship, Zixvar watched as Krell's trap failed to catch the Arizona resistance group. They knew. Krell raged. Somehow they knew. Zixvar didn't respond, but a new understanding was forming in his mind. The human females weren't just developing random abilities. They were connecting with each other, communicating across distances, sharing knowledge and warnings. "I need to study the ancient records," he told his science officer quietly. "There's something familiar about all this, something I've seen before in the old histories." As night fell across Earth, Lisa sat alone in a quiet corner of the subway station. She closed her eyes and reached out again with her mind. This time she felt something respond. Dozens, then hundreds of women across the country, across the world, all reaching back. Some were strong, some weak, but all were there, connecting in an invisible web that the aliens couldn't see or understand. "We are not alone," Lisa whispered, a smile forming on her lips. "And they have no idea what's coming." Lisa Bennett moved quietly through the dark forest with 5 other women. They had traveled for 2 weeks, moving only at night, hiding from alien patrols during the day. Their goal was a research facility the aliens had built in the mountains of what was once Colorado. "Are you sure about this?" asked Karen, the former nurse. "We're a long way from home." "I'm sure," Lisa said. "There's something important in that facility. I can feel it." Since that night when she had connected with other women across the country, Lisa's abilities had grown stronger. She could now sense alien technology from miles away. She could hear alien thoughts if she concentrated hard enough, and she kept having dreams about the facility ahead, dreams that felt like memories, though she had never been there before. The group stopped as they reached the edge of the trees. Below them, in a small valley, stood the alien research facility. It glowed with blue and green lights. Guards patrolled the walls. Flying machines circled overhead. "How do we get in?" asked Maria, a young woman who had once been a college student. Before Lisa could answer, they heard movement in the trees behind them. They reached for their weapons, a mix of human guns and stolen alien devices. "Easy," came a voice. "We're friends." A group of people emerged from the shadows, led by a woman with short dark hair and a confident walk. Lisa recognized her immediately, though they had never met in person. "Amanda Flores," Lisa said, lowering her weapon. Amanda looked surprised. "How do you know my name?" "The same way I knew to come here," Lisa said, tapping her temple. "The same way you knew to find us." Amanda nodded slowly. "I've been having dreams about this place and about you." "I know," Lisa said. "We're connected somehow. All of us." She gestured to the women in both groups. The 2 groups joined together, sharing food and information. Amanda explained that her resistance fighters had been attacking alien outposts across the southwest. Lisa told of her group's efforts in the east, helping survivors and gathering intelligence. "But why this place?" asked Carlos, who had come with Amanda's group. "What's so special about this facility?" "I think the answers are inside," Lisa said. "The aliens are studying something important here, something about us, about Earth women." Amanda looked thoughtful. "My team captured an alien last month. Before it died, it said something strange. It called me Luminary Descendant. Does that mean anything to you?" Lisa felt a shock run through her body at the word. "Luminary," she whispered. "Yes, I've heard that in my dreams." That night, as others slept, Lisa and Amanda sat together, planning how to enter the facility. "We could create a distraction at the main gate," Amanda suggested. "Draw their forces there while a small team sneaks in the back." Lisa shook her head. "They have too many guards, but I might have another way." She closed her eyes, reaching out with her mind toward the facility. She could sense the aliens inside, their thoughts buzzing like insects. "There's an alien in there," she said finally. "He's different from the others. He's been expecting us." Amanda looked alarmed. "A trap?" "No," Lisa said. "A friend, I think, or at least not an enemy." In his laboratory inside the research facility, Commander Zixvar studied ancient records displayed on floating screens. He had requested these files from the Imperial Archives, claiming they were needed for his research on human biology. Truth. He was searching for answers to questions that had haunted him since the invasion began. "Commander," called a nervous aide. "The prisoner is ready for questioning." Zixvar nodded and followed the aide to a holding cell. Inside, a human male sat on a simple bench. He had been captured near the facility 2 days ago. "Leave us," Zixvar told the aide. When they were alone, he addressed the human. "You are part of the resistance." It wasn't a question, the man said nothing. "I am not here to hurt you," Zixvar continued. "I want to understand. You're females. They have developed abilities. They can sense us, communicate with each other across distances, use our technology, without training. How is this possible?" The man remained silent. Zixvar sighed. "I believe I already know the answer. I found it in our oldest records." He activated a small projector, showing an image of tall, graceful beings with glowing skin. "The Luminari, a peaceful race that fled from the Empire thousands of years ago. We thought they were extinct, but they weren't. They came here, to Earth." The man's eyes widened slightly at the image, but he still didn't speak. "The Luminari mixed their genetic code with early humans," Zixvar continued, "specifically with human females. They created a dormant ability, one that would activate if the Empire ever found Earth." He deactivated the projector. "I need to speak with the female leaders of your resistance. I have information they need." "Why would you help us?" the man finally asked. Zixvar's 3 eyes looked tired. "Because this war is wrong. Because my people are no longer the noble warriors we once were. We have become conquerors, destroyers. And because—" he hesitated. "I too carry Luminari DNA. A smaller amount, from a different seeding long ago. Enough to give me the intuition that made me warn against this invasion." Outside the facility, Lisa gasped as the alien's thoughts reached her clearly for the first time. "Zixvar," she whispered. "His name is Zixvar, and he wants to help us." "Can we trust him?" Amanda asked. "I think we have to," Lisa said. "He knows what's happening to us. He knows why we're changing." That night, as the alien moons rose over the mountains, Lisa and Amanda led a small team toward the facility. They moved silently, guided by the mental connection Lisa had established with Zixvar. Guards looked the other way. Security systems failed to detect them. They found Zixvar waiting in a small side entrance. Up close, he was taller than a human with gray skin and 3 yellow eyes. He bowed slightly when he saw them. "You are the ones I have sensed," he said in perfect English. "The connection is stronger than I expected." "Tell us what you know," Lisa demanded. "What's happening to us?" Zixvar led them through quiet corridors, to his private laboratory. Once inside, he sealed the door and activated a device that would block monitoring systems. "Long ago," he began, "a race called the Luminari traveled the stars, seeding their genetic code in promising species. They were peaceful but powerful, with mental abilities far beyond physical technology. The Empire, my people, feared them and drove them from their homeworld." He showed them images of the beautiful beings from the ancient records. "The Luminari came to Earth thousands of years ago, when humans were still developing. They saw potential in your species, particularly in your females, who showed greater capacity for the connections the Luminari valued. They added their genetic material to yours, creating a dormant ability that would activate if needed." "When you arrived," Amanda said, understanding. "Yes," Zixvar nodded. "Your abilities are not random. You are becoming what the Luminari intended. Beings who can connect with each other, share knowledge, sense danger, and even control technology with your minds." "But why just women?" Lisa asked. "The Luminari found that female humans were more receptive to their genetic modifications," Zixvar explained. "The abilities can appear in males, but more rarely and usually weaker." He moved to a large covered object in the center of the laboratory and pulled away the covering. Underneath was a strange crystal device, glowing with inner light. "This is a Luminari beacon," he said. I found it buried near this location, which is why the facility was built here. If activated, it will send a signal that will fully awaken the dormant abilities in all who carry the Luminari genetic code. It could turn the tide of this war. Why would you help us defeat your own people? Amanda asked suspiciously. Zixvar's eyes showed sadness. The empire I serve is not the empire I swore to protect. We were once explorers and builders. Now we destroy and conquer. Earth is just one of many worlds suffering under our rule. He touched the crystal device gently. I too carry a small amount of Luminari DNA, enough to know this path is wrong. How do we activate it? Lisa asked, staring at the crystal with a strange feeling of familiarity. That, said Zixvar, is the difficult part. The device must be taken to your planet's magnetic north pole and activated there. The signal will then travel along Earth's magnetic field, reaching everyone. But General Krell has discovered my research. Even now, his forces are coming to destroy this facility and the beacon. We must move quickly. As if on cue, alarms began to sound throughout the facility. Zixvar looked up in alarm. They're here sooner than I expected, he said. We need to get the beacon out now. I will create a distraction while you escape. Come, with us, Lisa said, surprised by her own concern for the alien. Zixvar shook his head. My place is here. I must face what I have done and what I have failed to do. He handed Amanda a small device. This will help you avoid our patrols. Now, go. As they carefully lifted the crystal beacon, explosions rocked the facility. The final battle for Earth's future had begun. Snow whipped around Lisa and Amanda as they struggled across the frozen landscape. 6 weeks had passed since their escape from the research facility. The journey north had been hard. They had traveled thousands of miles, hiding from alien patrols, fighting when they had to, always moving toward the magnetic North Pole with the crystal beacon carefully protected. How much farther? Amanda shouted over the howling wind. Her face was red from cold despite the layers of clothing. Lisa checked the small device Zixvar had given them. Its lights blinked faster now. Close, she yelled back. Maybe 2 miles. Behind them came the rest of their group. Karen, Maria, Carlos, and 3 others who had joined along the way. They pulled sleds carrying supplies and the precious beacon, which glowed brighter the farther north they traveled. They had not heard from Zixvar since the research facility. News had reached them through the growing network of connected women that the facility had been destroyed. They didn't know if, the alien commander had survived. What they did know was that General Krell had declared all-out war on Earth's women. The aliens now specifically targeted females, seeing them as the greatest threat. This had only strengthened the resistance, as more men joined to protect their mothers, wives, and daughters. As the group topped a ridge of ice, they saw it below. Them, a perfect circle of bare ground in the middle of the frozen wasteland. No snow fell there, no ice formed. The ground was black rock with strange symbols carved into it. That's it, Lisa breathed. The activation site. Just then, the air above them hummed. Looking up, they saw 3 alien ships descending from the clouds. They found us, Carlos said, grabbing for his weapon. No, Amanda said, pointing to the lead ship. Look at the markings, that's not Krell's ship. The ships landed at the edge of the circle. The door of the lead ship opened and a familiar gray figure limped out. Zixvar, Lisa said, relief flooding through her. The alien commander looked injured but alive. Behind him came a dozen other aliens, all bearing weapons. Friends, Zixvar called as they approached cautiously. These are my loyal soldiers. They have turned against Krell to help Earth. Lisa reached out with her mind, touching Zixvar's thoughts. She felt no deception there, only determination and a strange hope. What happened at the facility? Amanda asked as they reached him. Krell's forces attacked in full strength, Zixvar said. Many died on both sides. I was captured and brought before Krell himself. He showed them a new scar across his chest. He did this when I refused to tell him about the beacon. He would have killed me, but loyal members of my crew helped me escape. Others joined us when they learned the truth about the Luminari and what the Empire has become. He looked up at the sky. We don't have much time. Krell is coming. His flagship was only hours behind us. Together, humans and rebel aliens carried the crystal beacon to the center of the circle. As they placed it on the ground, the symbols carved in the rock began to glow with the same light as the beacon. How do we activate it? Lisa asked. Zixvar pointed to two hand-shaped impressions on the sides of the beacon. Two carriers of the Luminary DNA must connect with it simultaneously. You and Amanda are the strongest I have found. Lisa and Amanda knelt on opposite sides of the crystal. They placed their hands in the impressions. Nothing happened. It's not working, Amanda said, frustrated. You must open your minds fully, Zixvar explained. Let the beacon see who you are. Lisa closed, her eyes trying to relax her mind. She felt Amanda doing the same across from her. Slowly, the connection between them that had been growing for months expanded, becoming stronger, clearer. Then they felt others joining. Women across the planet, all connecting in a vast network of minds. Their thoughts, their strength, their determination flowed together like rivers joining to form an ocean. The beacon began to pulse with light, brighter and brighter. The ground beneath them trembled. Suddenly the sky darkened. Looking up, they saw an enormous ship blocking the clouds. General Krell's flagship had arrived. Too late, Zixvar said grimly. The signal needs time to build and travel through Earth's magnetic field. Krell will destroy the beacon before it completes the activation. The great ship's weapons ports opened, glowing with deadly energy. The first shots hit near the circle, throwing up snow and rock. The next would destroy them all. Keep your hands on the beacon, Zixvar told Lisa and Amanda. No matter what happens, I will try to buy you time. He spoke quickly to his soldiers in their own language. They spread out, firing their weapons at the flagship. The shots were like bee stings against an elephant, but they distracted the gunners. Above, Zixvar himself ran back to his ship. It lifted off small against the massive flagship and flew directly at its main weapon port. The little ship crashed into the flagship's weapon, causing a massive explosion. Zixvar, Lisa whispered, feeling his sacrifice. The flagship listed to one side, damaged but still operational, its remaining weapons aimed at the circle again. It's not enough, Carlos shouted. The beacon needs more time. Lisa and Amanda looked at each other across the glowing crystal. Without words, they both knew what to do. They pushed deeper into the connection with each other and all the connected women of Earth. Instead of just receiving the beacon's energy, they started pouring their own energy into it. The crystal pulsed faster, its light turning from blue to white. The symbols in the rock blazed so bright no one could look directly at them. Above them, smaller ships launched from the flagship. Troops would land in minutes. Something's happening, Maria called, pointing to Lisa and Amanda. Both women were now floating slightly above the ground, still touching the beacon. Light poured from their eyes and mouths. Their hair moved as if underwater. Around the world, every woman with the awakened luminary DNA experienced the same transformation. A beam of pure white energy shot from the beacon straight up, hitting the flagship. The massive ship froze in place, its weapons powerless. The smaller ship stopped in midair. They're controlling the ships, Carlos said in awe, with their minds. Through their connected consciousness, Lisa and Amanda could see inside the flagship. They could see General Krell raging, ordering his crew to fire. They could see the crew unable to make their equipment work. And they could see into the computers, the engines, every system on every alien ship around the planet. As one, the women of Earth gave a single command: leave. Across the globe, alien ships rose into the sky against the will of their pilots. The flagship, despite Krell's screams of fury, turned away from Earth. The entire invasion fleet moved out of Earth's atmosphere, then accelerated toward the edge of the solar system. Only the 3 small ships belonging to Zixvar's rebels remained, their crews allowed to stay by the collective mind of Earth's women. The beacon's light faded slowly. Lisa and Amanda settled back to the ground, exhausted but smiling. We did it, Amanda whispered. The luminary gift is fully awakened now. Lisa said. In all of us. 3 days later, the rebel aliens helped them return to what remained of New York City. The world was beginning to rebuild after the invasion. The awakened abilities of Earth's women were helping to restore power, grow food, and heal the injured. In what had once been Central Park, Lisa and Amanda stood with the remaining rebel aliens, including a female pilot who had been one of Zixvar's most trusted officers. What will you do now? Lisa asked the alien woman. With your permission, we would like to stay and help rebuild, she replied. And perhaps one day, when Earth is strong again, we could work together to free other worlds from the Empire. Sally looked at Amanda, who nodded. Around the world, they could feel other women agreeing through their connected minds. The Empire thought Earth would be an easy conquest, Amanda said. They ignored the warning about Earth's women. And they paid the price, Lisa finished. But this is just the beginning. The stars are waiting for us now. Above them, the sky darkened as the sun set. Stars appeared one by one. But now, instead of feeling small under their light, the people of Earth looked up with new confidence. The universe had come to them, and Earth's women had answered.